Happy Halloween! Today I want to show you how to make caramel corn. I'm making caramel corn for my grandkids. It's getting late in the day and I've got to get it finished. So I thought I'd bring you along and show you how I make the caramel corn that all my family loves. I have to make it for my grandkids and their parents because their parents love it too. I've been making it for years and years and it's a tried and true great recipe. What I do is I take the easy way and I just buy some microwave popcorn and I pop 3 bags full. But I wanted to show you a little tip before we get started on the caramel corn, because if you put your popcorn in a bowl and then shake it, this is 1 bag of caramel corn, and I just give it a shake, and then I have another bowl here and you just take out the kernels. Let me show you how if you take out the popped kernels and put it in a different bowl, just lightly lift it up like this. Then when you get finished, all your unpopped kernels and the little pieces that are not very desirable, that you don't want to have in your caramel corn, will be left at the bottom, which is a really nice tip, because then you don't have all that stuff in your caramel corn that you don't like. See how that's getting all the good stuff out and all the little stuff's left at the bottom? So just it takes a couple extra minutes, but it's worth the extra minutes to just get the good stuff out. And then see all of that stuff left behind, you can just throw it in the garbage. So that's just a good little tip for you. Now let's get started on the caramel. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make the caramel part of the caramel corn. I actually already made a batch, put some candy corn in it for my grandkids, and I have another bowl right here ready to make another batch. This batch I made with a different recipe. It's one of the recipes you can find on YouTube. Everybody posts it. It's made with Karo syrup, butter, brown sugar, and then you put vanilla and baking soda in at the very end. And I made that because I didn't have enough of the other ingredients to make this kind. But this will be the second kind of caramel corn that we're going to make. It takes 2 cups of brown sugar, 1 cup of butter, or 2 sticks. It will take 1 cup of Karo syrup, and 1 cup of sweetened condensed milk. What I'm going to do is pour it all in the pan and then stir it up, and when it gets to the point to boil, I'll bring you back and tell you what else to do. Okay, my caramel just now started to boil, and with this caramel, it's a little bit different than the other caramel I made. The other caramel, you let it boil for 5 minutes without stirring it. This caramel, you have to be really, really careful because it can scorch on the bottom. So you want to stir it periodically. I'm not exactly sure how long I cook it, but I'm going to time it. And when I come back, after I get it done and show you, I'll tell you. It's not very long, probably about the same amount of time, probably 5 minutes or so. You just cook it until it gets just ready. I've been making it for so long, I just don't know exactly how to explain it to you, but I'll show you when it gets done. I actually tried this caramel corn. I tasted it. The difference in this and the other caramel corn, this is set up a little bit. This is harder. The other's chewier. This recipe actually said to spread it out on the pan after you mix it up, and you can bake it in the oven for a little bit, and it makes it not gooey at all. It makes it more like a Cracker Jack harder caramel corn, and that's the difference. This kind is more of a just caramel corn. You can make caramel popcorn balls with this. It stays kind of gooey. Even if you waited to make them, you could probably still make them. Whereas this other kind that I made, it's already set up. You would have to make the caramel popcorn balls before. What I do is I make the caramel corn like this, and then I just put it in Ziploc bags. A little bit in a bag for each of my grandkids, and then the parents come, and I have to have bags for them to take with them too, but they sit and munch on it while they're here visiting too, because they love it so much. They haven't tried this kind. I actually think my husband would like this kind better. If I doctored it up and put some pecans in there, and maybe some cashews, some nuts for him, and then baked it. So it is more like caramel corn. He likes, oh, what's the kind you buy at the store that has the pecans in it and stuff. There's different brands of caramel corn in the store that are more like this, more like the crispy. And he likes it like that. He doesn't like it gooey. So I may make some of this for him sometime, because I think he would like it. He will not like the candy corns in it, though. So anyway, I better watch my caramel. Won't be too long. Won't be too long, it'll be ready. And then I'll bring you back, and I'll tell you how long I've cooked it. So I'll just see you in a minute. All right, I've been cooking this for about 5 minutes, and I think it's about done. Can you tell the difference in the color and the texture? The way I'm going to try and show you is by doing a softball test. So just get a little cup of cold water and go ahead and put some of your caramel on a spoon and dip it in there, and see that softball that it's turning into? That's how you can tell. After I got done pouring that caramel into the water, I could tell that it was ready. I like to touch it with my finger to feel the firmness of the caramel in the water. And after I felt that caramel, I could tell by the firmness of it that it was done. You can tell by the way it looks and also by the way it feels. A really soft ball stage would mean it's really, really, really soft. You don't want it to be quite like that. You want it to be just in between. If you cook it too long, then it gets too hard and it'll be really chewy when you eat it. So you want it to be just soft. It's a soft ball stage. And you can tell when you see me pour that in the water, you can tell that it's just about right. When I move it with the spoon, you can tell that it's just soft and ready for me to pour over the popcorn. Cook it on a medium heat. My stove goes from 0 to 9, or I should say low, and then 1 to 9, and then high, so it goes to 10. And I cooked this on a 4 for about 5 minutes stirring. So let me pour it into my popcorn, and I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. I've got this one all mixed up. Look how delicious that looks. Let me show you how soft it is. I just barely poured it in, but it's soft and gooey, and it's just yummy. Now for this one, I'm going to add M&Ms for the adults. They'll get this caramel corn because they'll like it better with the chocolate in it. And so let me stir it in. I'll show you what it looks like. Finished now. I mixed it all up and put the M&Ms in the top. When you do this, you want to mix the caramel in before you put the M&Ms in. If you look close, you can see how those M&Ms are melting just a little bit from the hot caramel. And you don't want them to melt and turn mushy and make the caramel chocolatey. You want them to stay intact. And so you need to do it after you get it all mixed up. Now this caramel corn is more sticky than the other, and so the M&Ms stick to it a lot better than the candy corn stuck to the other. This one, I have a feeling there's lots of candy corns kind of in the bottom because I put a lot of candy corn in there and you can't see a lot of it in there. So when I serve it up to the kids for the grandkids, I'll have to give them some that's on the bottom. Now, my comparison of the two. I think they're both really good in their own ways. Look at the difference in the color and the coverage. This one, I used the same amount of popcorn. This one, the caramel didn't cover quite as good. So I would probably use 5 cups of popcorn if I were to make that again instead of 6. This one, or I should say 24 is what it calls for. It calls for 3 bags. I'd use 2.5 bags, and I'd use 3 for this one. This one, the coverage is really good. It's just about perfect amount, the perfect amount for the amount of caramel that you have. This one would be great, especially if you want to eat it somewhere and you don't want to get all gooey and sticky. I would say this one's a better caramel corn. Or if you want the old Cracker Jack kind of, it's kind of like that. It's a little bit gooey, but not, it's more, you know, it's, and if you want to make caramel popcorn balls, this would be really good for caramel popcorn balls. Now this kind, you can make caramel popcorn balls with it too, but it's a little bit more gooey, but delicious nonetheless. Now, in my opinion of the flavor and the taste of these two, this is really good, delicious. This one, supreme. It's so good. Give it a try because I think you're gonna love it. It's just delicious. The best caramel corn I've ever had. Although this is good, this is better. So anyway, that's the caramel corn I made for my family for Halloween. I've got to get it packed up, get it ready for them. They'll be on their way. So I'm going to let you go, and I'll see you later. Have a happy day, everybody.